Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm super excited to kick off the day and to talk about two of my favorite things, being content and Twitter. So as Hope mentioned, I've been at Twitter for about 3 years now. And most of that time I've spent in a content role advising our top brand partners on creative best practices and setting smart strategy. And more recently moved into an account-focused role. Was happy to see some of my colleagues here at PepsiCo beforehand at breakfast. So one thing I've learned in all my years in content is that great content is only great if it really taps into consumer insight and what people really want from the platforms that it lives in. So that's where I want to start today. Is I'm going to go through 3 techniques that hopefully you can take back to your business and apply to your content strategy, but root those 3 techniques in consumer insight and what it is that people come to a platform like Twitter to do every single day. So what is it that people love about Twitter? What are the qualities of our platform that are both unique to the application, but also speaks to the unique value for consumers and why they come to Twitter every single day? There basically is one reason, and that's that Twitter is a live connection to culture. So whether that culture be the latest and greatest of what Kanye West is saying, and he's quite prolific, he's a good follow, he's great for a laugh on Twitter, or potentially something that's larger in culture, like a social movement or breaking news, people come to Twitter for that live first look at what the world is talking about. Twitter is that pulse of the world at large, as also the world that you individually care about. And the reason that Twitter is that live connection to culture is for 3 reasons. And then the first is that Twitter is often the first place news breaks. So it's the first place that people come to have a meaningful conversation around a live event or a breaking news or a meme or a trend. It's also a platform that offers direct access to people of influence. So whether that be an athlete like Roger Federer who comes to Twitter and Periscope to have that direct connection with fans, or a direct conduit to industry leaders. So for example, Twitter's a great place, as you all know, to follow industry conferences within marketing and technology, or follow along with a thought leader in the space. It's also a platform that was born in live. So of course, live means of the moment. When you sign on to Twitter, you see what the world is talking about, not only that day, but that hour. And most recently, Live has come to life through Periscope, which is a new tool within the Twitter family, just a year old, that allows you to live stream what you're doing right now in this moment. So broadcast basically from your pocket to the entire world, or tune in to broadcasts from other people across the world right on your mobile phone. So when I say it's a first source of information, it's really tailored to your world. So here's a quick look at my interest graph, and very quickly you can understand why Twitter is the first place that I go every single morning and throughout the day for information on what matters to me. And that information could be related to raising my adorable little peacock daughter, Mira, and the brands and other news sources and bloggers that I follow to keep up to date on mom information. It could be, of course, to follow thought leaders in the industry, as well as strong women leaders. This is really the first place that I get information about what matters to me, and we see that across the board among our user base. And it's also a direct connection to influence. So people come to Twitter because it's the only platform where you can get that intimate understanding of people across the board from different walks of life who have influence, who are world leaders, who are the best athletes, who are leaders in entertainment, media, and with even sort of these handheld celebrities we see that have built up these social followings. It is that direct connection to influence. So how does that influence sort of play out? I want to share with you an example from none other than Oprah, a famous strong Chicagoan, and sort of to show you sort of how a tweet can move the market. So clearly it's Oprah. I'm going to let her speak for herself.
This is the joy for me. I love bread. I love bread. I now just manage it, so I don't deny myself bread. I have bread every day. I have bread every day. That's the genius of this program. I lost 26 pounds and I have eaten bread every single day.
So she's a shareholder in a pretty large shareholder in Weight Watchers and also on the board, but she came to Twitter to really share that story, to say, hey, look, you can eat what you want and still lose weight. This is my story, right? And had that direct, unmediated conversation with her millions of followers. And what happened next, right? What's the power of influence on a platform like Twitter? It literally moved the market. So a little while later, CNBC covered Oprah's tweet. As you see time and time again, right? Twitter is sort of at the core of news stories and broadcast along the web. And Weight Watchers share jumped more than 18% after that tweet.
Melissa, I want to draw your attention to shares of Weight Watchers up about 10% after Oprah Winfrey tweeted out a video where she says, quote, I lost 26 pounds and I have eaten bread every single day. Now, the media mogul does have a nearly 15% stake in the weight loss company, as well as a seat on the board. That announcement made in October, and since then, the stock has climbed about 90%, and we're seeing that Oprah effect in today's trade as well, up over 12% on this Oprah tweet. Melissa?
So really an incredible example of how this influence plays out on a daily basis. I also want to talk a little bit about live. And as I mentioned, Twitter, people come to Twitter for live experiences. And this is really since the founding of the company and the product. But we've really continued year after year to evolve on that equity in live. And more recently, we just announced that for a long time, Twitter has been that first companion to live televised experiences, right? People love to tweet about sports games as they play out. People love to tweet about scandal as they're watching, because Twitter is the biggest couch in the world. But we decided, how can we enable live experiences in new and different ways? And in extending our partnership with the NFL, which has lasted for about 4 years now, we just announced that we will be streaming live broadcast video of 10 Thursday night football games this season directly within our app. And you can sign on to Twitter unauthenticated and watch NFL Thursday night football on Twitter and then experience the live conversation around the game. So again, those are the three sort of pillars of why people come to Twitter for these experiences. Now, what can you as a marketer do, right? How can you use that insight and program that into your content strategy? I'm basically going to go over 3 techniques and use 3 brands to exemplify. So first is use Twitter to seed information first, and especially for you B2B marketers out there, really think about how Twitter can provide that moment of discovery for people that care about your marketplace. Second is harness direct influence, right? You have, as a marketer, a direct connection with your consumer. How can you seed a conversation to impact and influence the conversation? And last is facilitate live experiences, right? Marketers get to be places and do things and experience events that other people don't. So how can your brand use a platform like Twitter and Periscope to facilitate that and bring that directly to consumers? Great. So first, I want to talk about seeding information first, and going to look to one of the best B2B marketers out there, and that's GE, who clearly is not just B2B, but B2C as well in their messaging. And so they've used a platform like Periscope to bring people where they've never been before, right? And to exemplify what their company is about and how much change they have powered and technological advance that this company has powered through using technology as the window and breaking information on Twitter first. So a few months ago, GE used drones to shoot periscopes from across their plants. So it was during Drone Week, and over 5 days, they rigged up these drones so that they would live Periscope and gave people this unprecedented pass to 5 facilities that GE maintains. And so what's amazing is that they did this before we enabled Periscopes on drones, but now marketers can use that technology without having to be engineering experts. And you are not only can Periscope from a GoPro, you can also Periscope from drones as well as your mobile phone. So a great example of how you can use live video and a tool like Periscope to give people that backstage pass, right? To give them information first, direct from the source. I also want to talk about harnessing direct influence. So how can you use a platform like Twitter and one of our most critical atomic units, the hashtag, to get people to talk about your brand promise and live your brand for you and drive earned reach and larger communication. So a best way to influence the conversation is to understand the conversation, right? And that's another power of Twitter is the data and all of the tweets really uncover this incredible wealth of information about what consumers care about. So REI, as you guys know, is an outdoor retailer, and every retailer in the US cares about Black Friday. So as they started to make their Black Friday plans, they started with the conversation and said, okay, of the massive conversation around Black Friday, 10 million tweets on this day alone, what are people saying, right? What are consumers feeling using Twitter as their window about this day that the whole industry is focused on? And they saw tweets like this one. I #hate Black Friday. I'd rather be at the beach, right? The crowds, the chaos, it's not worth it. I'd rather go outside. And what an amazing insight for a brand that has its core equity in outdoors and enabling outdoor experiences. REI took this moment to build an entire campaign that not only was a social activation, it was a business decision that they let play out through this direct connection with consumers on a platform like Twitter. So a great example of mobile optimized video here, right? So most of the video on Twitter, most consumption is on mobile devices. It's a mobile-first platform. They recognize that when people are watching videos on their phones, they don't always have the sound on, right? They might be in line at CVS or on the bus or in a meeting or at a conference, unfortunately. So they decided to use just a turn of copy to alert people, hey, you might want to turn your sound up for this one. #optoutside.
In the news tonight, another Black Friday has arrived.
Honored tradition, Black Friday.
Lines are already forming, hundreds of people deep.
Just a handful of
This
door-crasher deals inside.
Retailers
opening their doors on Thanksgiving evening.
These employees took their Thanksgiving dinners to go.
The doors are opening.
Shoppers rushing out the door. Pushing back. It was a chaotic scene.
So they decided to close their stores on Black Friday and created their own moment of attention. So if you notice the timestamp here is not in November, right? It's in October, it's late October. They created their own Black Friday moment a month before the actual day to influence the conversation and say, hey, this is what our brand's about. We're asking you in a direct way to rally around our brand promise and opt in to #optoutside, to not go to the store and instead be outside, right? Enjoy Mother Nature on this day off. So when people took the pledge, the #optoutside pledge, they seeded this vehicle for self-expression into the world for consumers to tell the world something about themselves. They would sort of, in these delightful way, message them back with scaled gifts, right? Hike 5, so that when people use the hashtag, they would have this delightful sight, sound, and motion way to thank them for doing that. And within a week, within a few days, they were able to get 750,000 people to take this pledge, right? Pretty remarkable earned potential here when you consider that this isn't one of your big players in retail, right? This is a smaller, more focused retailer. So again, this was, a good month before Black Friday that they created this groundswell, this sort of live thunderclap around their brand. And then on the actual day itself, they used a new product of ours called the Moment. So for all of you Twitter users, it's that center button at the bottom, the lightning bolt. And it's basically, we can see what REI's Moment looked like. It's basically a full bleed, swipeable storytelling format that cobbles together videos and images and GIFs to tell a rich brand story. And advertisers, of course, can buy that first spot to have a promoted moment to drive discoverability. But REI used their moment to tell people the story of hashtag opt outside from the beginning, from the press's perspective, from the CEO's perspective, from users' perspectives who took the hashtag opt outside pledge. And this was really the capstone of their campaign, right? They made a business decision. They made it public on Twitter. They invited people to participate to drive that earned reach from their effort, and then showed people this is the amazing story. We want you to get outside. So this is a great way, again, to really think about how you can harness the power of influence and influence the conversation directly through smart programs on our platform. And then the last piece is how can you as a brand facilitate live experiences? And, I'm going to show you one of the most artful executions of facilitating a live experience using Periscope to date with a marketer like Target. But I also want to challenge all of us as marketers, and we all don't have the opportunity to work on huge programs like this one, but think about how these component tools can be used and applied to your own business, right? Periscope is a tool that everyone in the world has that they can pull out of their pocket. And you as marketers can do the same. The experience can be a live televised one like the Grammys, which I'm going to talk about, or it could be an owned and operated event or a local experience, right? The principles remain the same regardless of the stature of the brand or the size of the budget. So to close, I want to talk about facilitating live experiences as it relates to television, because there is this incredible relationship between Twitter and TV. So Target has been one of our biggest partners around Grammys and has been a longtime broadcast partner of the Grammys. And this year decided to do a little bit something different. So Target, every year they have these exclusive releases of albums that they have either exclusive tracks available in store or exclusive windows of time where they have an album before others do. And this year it was Gwen Stefani's latest album. And they decided, they bought some TV space. They had a whole window, an entire ad break. It was about 2.5 minutes long, and decided to film a live music video, the first ever live music video during a Grammys ad break. So they used Gwen, of course, to publicize this moment, right? She's got a huge following on Twitter. She shared with the world that she was doing this. So this is big. I'm going to be in the first live music video on a Grammys commercial break with Target, hashtag more music. And then really created a huge anticipation window. So knowing that the hashtag is a great way to get people to talk about your brand in a structured way, they used a tool called Conversational Video, which allows you to invite people to participate in a conversation. So hashtag tweet more music. Tweet hashtag more music if you think it's going to be bananas, this live music video. And then it pre-populates a tweet for a user who's excited about that. So that they can, it's just reducing a little bit of friction in the system so they're able to share your brand message in a more seamless way. So this video gives me chills, can't wait to watch Gwen Stefani. And then when this user shares that tweet, it gets pre-populated with that video and that call to action button so others can do that as well. So created this amazing anticipation window to create more value out of their broadcast investment. But then also, the day of, they wanted to own both screens, right? They know that people have their phones and are on Twitter while they're watching live events, may they be sports or the Grammys, decided how can we create a dual screen experience using a tool like Periscope. So they took one of the actors in the music video and had him Periscope live from the live filming of the music video. So here on the left, you're going to see what we saw on television, right, during this live ad break, and then what we saw on Periscope from the point of view of the bartender from the music video.
Did he just count us down? Wait, what's happening? Is it time? Oh my gosh, we're starting. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this is happening. Guys, we're making history right now. Let's see if you can see a little bit of it. I'm gonna sneak in here.
To do this throughout the whole live music video, and my favorite moment was when he had to put the phone down so that he could actually be in the music video and do his dance and be the bartender. And you know, this is, for those of you new to Periscope, this is sort of what the user experience looks like. People can watch the live broadcast and comment. It's a great way to sort of host if you're thinking about doing a Twitter chat, it's a great way to host a Twitter chat, right? Because people can ask questions right in stream, and then someone live can respond in video. And then people heart if they like it, right? So hearts is one of our sort of engagement metrics to just say that you love it. So yeah, let's turn back to our bartender to see what it looks like when he just puts his phone down to watch, to actually be in.
So I'm the bartender and I have a very serious job. So I'm gonna hide my camera really quick, but you guys hopefully will be able to see like a little piece of her if she comes through. Wish us luck!
Target is clearly investing a lot of money in this broadcast experience that was never been done before. They decided, how can we extend this experience across screens, build anticipation to this live moment, and then also sweat the assets. Right? We're investing all this money in this live experience that lasts 2.5 minutes. Let's create that into a library of assets that can help drive conversation and visibility around this program with Gwen. So post-show, they continue to share all this behind-the-scenes footage from this live music video, and also what we call scratch reels, so interactive GIFs on Twitter of these fun little moments from the music video, right? So this really was a huge part of how they activated for weeks to come. To drive traffic and to get people excited about this album and receiving it in stores. So some really incredible best-in-class activations, I think, that really speak to what people want, the content people want on Twitter and Periscope. And just wanted to leave you with sort of three actionable tips as you think about programming for your content strategy on Twitter. So to recap, seed information first, right? Speak to that person that's hungry for discovery. Harnessed direct influence, so thinking about using the platform to get people to talk about your brand in constructive ways and live your brand promise. And last, facilitate live experiences. Bring people behind the scenes, bring people where they've never been and closer to those celebrities and influencers that they love. So thank you so much for your time today. Excited to be a part of this awesome conference and kick it off.